Thanksgiving has been my favorite holiday for as long as I can remember. Waking up to the aroma of pies coming out of the oven, eating breakfast while deciding between two TV stations. Channel 4 has the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Channel 11, which is WPIX in New York, has March of the Wooden Soldiers. Is this even a competition? One of them you flip to during the commercials for the latest trends in music and dance. The other is a classic, and you watch it lovingly, savoring every crazy moment.
It's a certainty that anything you can do, I can do. What, for instance?
How many of us tried this at home? I still can't do that. Stan Laurel's face here is absolutely priceless. Stanny dumb, playing with his pee-wee, childlike and innocent, just like us. Ollie D, growing frustrated with him, like we did with our siblings. The plot is simple. Together, they try to pay off Mother Peep's mortgage to the evil Barnaby, actually played by a 21-year-old actor. In the end, when Barnaby's boogeymen invade Toyland, Stanley and Ollie come up with the brilliant idea to use the toy soldiers to fight back. There wasn't a tough kid from our generation who didn't want to be one of the toy soldiers and help defend their community. After Laurel and Hardy, the entire town converged on the high school for the annual football rivalry. Like many places in North Jersey, my hometown of Ramsey had an arch nemesis we played every Thanksgiving morning, Mawa. Ramsey versus Mawa was like two brothers fighting it out in the backyard. At the end, there was a grudging respect, and of course, bragging rights. For the rest of the day, your school's fight song pleasantly played inside of your head, and I often wondered if I was the only one who heard it. We arrived home just in time for the first course of your family's Thanksgiving feast, which always coincided with the kickoff of the Detroit Lions game, the Lions who represented rugged Midwestern values and the American automobile industry. This was the time when grandparents arrived and cousins, so now I'll need to pause to explain something. Italian-American Thanksgiving was not the traditional American dinner. We ate in courses, one after another, a non-stop feast, prepared for days by our mothers, grandmothers, and aunts. First, there was the escarole soup, surrounded by a table loaded with antipasto, black and green olives, fine cheeses, jumbo shrimp, artichokes, mozzarella balls, figs wrapped in prosciutto. Okay, I could go on and on. Then came the pastas, the lasagna, stuffed shells with mudguff. So good and filling. It was its own meal. Red Burgundy wine washed it all down. Everybody had at least one glass. And I do mean everybody. Between courses, the men would go into the family room and do what they do best. The women would go into the kitchen to prepare the next course and talk about the men. And as the sun limped low in the late autumn sky, the kids went outside. Something about being a tough kid back then. We couldn't stay inside for too long. Entire families would also come outside to play football together. Brother, sisters, cousins, fathers, mothers. At 4 p.m. we were back inside, sweaty and grass-stained, to devour some turkey and watch the Dallas Cowboys. They are called America's team for a reason. They are on every TV set on Thanksgiving Day in front of millions of Americans. When evening arrived, out came dessert. And by dessert, I don't just mean the American traditions of apple and pumpkin pie. We had standing armies of cannolis, schiedel, lobster tails, amaretto cookies, walnuts, chestnuts, and assorted fruits. I could go on and on. Coffee was served along with espresso. This was usually the time when the red wine was put away for the anisette. The kids were allowed to drink this too, because as my grandfather used to say, anisette was good for digestion. There was a lot of digesting going on in my house. Imagine my shock years later when I found out that not everybody celebrated Thanksgiving like this. Because there was no third NFL night game back then, families would just settle in and watch such classics as Miracle on 34th Street. Maybe the best holiday movie ever, because it perfectly bridges Thanksgiving and Christmas and contains an anti-commercialism message. Speaking of commercialism, Black Friday was just an ugly rumor back then. In fact, it was not uncommon for people to remark at dinner, "Did you know that Friday after Thanksgiving is the most shopped day of the year?" I can remember thinking quite clearly, shopping for Christmas in November? That's mad crazy, yo. We've turned into a hostile, anxiety-ridden nation chasing after our next overpriced purchase, when in reality, all we need is each other. The Friday after Thanksgiving was the time we would watch college football and eat leftovers all afternoon. That's when we saw 5'9" Doug Flutie throw a Hail Mary pass 64 yards in the air with nothing left on the clock. Legend.
Throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it. It's a touchdown.
We all watched it live on Friday, November 23rd, 1984, because we were all home and not shopping.
He threw it into the end zone. There was no time left on the clock.
In conclusion, I want to wish the Tough Kid Nation a very special happy Thanksgiving. Whether you're celebrating it in your childhood home, or whether you are thousands of miles from where you started out in life. Whether you're surrounded by familiar loved ones, or beginning a new chapter in your life, please know that I feel connected to you all, and I hope that you can look back fondly on Thanksgiving Day and remember all that was good and innocent in our lives. I hope that there is gratitude in your heart that you live in the greatest country in the world. And I hope that you take a private moment to remember all your family members and your dear friends who are no longer with us. And don't forget your beloved pets who live on inside of us all. Honor all those lost by carrying on your beautiful Thanksgiving traditions. And never forget, back is the way forward.